This is the third candle of the 5 candles of hope. Power versus prestige.
If you call my answering machine, the message on is, at the end of our lives, we will not remember how much money we made or how many things we possessed. What will come back to us is the quality of the relationships we formed with those we loved. Because the key for all of us is that connectedness with family and friends and that feeling of truly being loved unconditionally by the people that matter to us.
I'm speaking at a lot of eulogies. And when I'm asked to speak, one of the key things that I always try to say is, in the end, people only remember your heart. They never say that person lived in a great house, that person drove a great car, that person had beautiful clothes. What they say is that person was loving, that person was unconditionally accepting, that person touched lives every day.
Look at your last day of life and ask yourselves, how do I want to be remembered by the people in my life who I love and who love me? And put it up at the top of the list in your life and live it out. In my parent programs, when I speak, I tell them power and prestige are real short-lived. And I say, most of you don't believe that. And because our culture thrives on power and prestige, I say, so let me give you an example. And I ask them, I will buy you dinner for you and a significant other, your spouse or somebody else, if any one of you in this audience can name me the last 5 presidents of General Motors. I've never had anybody that got the last 5 presidents. And I say to my audiences, they would be appalled that you didn't know who they were. They worked nights and weekends, denied their families, so that they could pyramid to the top, at that time, corporate office in the country, and we don't know who they are. I grew up in the wealthiest community in the country, Scarsdale, New York. It was very difficult for me because of the extreme wealth and the image that was projected. But I got a chance to see love for the first time, because I used to go home, I was 16, used to go home with my postman, who lived in a low to middle income housing project in Queens. And we would go home and we would go up to his floor, walk down the halls where the carpets were filthy and the smell was very significant. And he would go and he would turn the key in the door. And you could hear on the other side of the door his children screaming, "Daddy's home." He would open up the door and they would tackle him and roll around on the floor. Now, they lived in a 2-bedroom apartment for 8 people, 6 children, 2 adults. But there was more love in that house than I saw in my whole community.